it's still really weird to me to think that this is a Steven Soderbergh film. Like, the guy that did Traffic and Aaron Brockovich and Ocean's 11 also directed Magic Mike. It just it just feels so weird to me. But when you think about like where Steven Soderbergh's career has gone as of lately, I mean, he started out to be such one of the most promising directors of the early 2000s. Nowadays, we like never talk about him. He releases shit like straight to streaming. His films just kind of like, I don't know, whatever. Okay, thanks. It's hard for him to get a film off the ground. Um, but yeah, he's a great director. And even the films that I've seen that were straight to streaming were not bad. They just maybe weren't like Ocean's 11 or Traffic. But uh, here, somewhere in the middle, because it was 2012, so somewhere in the middle between his heyday, so to speak, and his sort of, I don't know, period in which Hollywood is disrespecting the shit out of Steven Soderbergh, period, we have Magic Mike. And this is my second time watching Magic Mike. And I'm doing it obviously because Magic Mike's Last Dance is going to hit HBO Max. And I wanted to watch this in advance just to get a review out. So this is a second look at Magic Mike. I did watch this once, and I don't think I watched this in theaters. I think I skipped theaters on this one. I think I waited for like Redbox and watched this one at home. I just didn't have a desire. I thought it was something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was a film that was trying to tell me it was like, come see the male stripper movie. And I was like, I don't know. Does it have a plot? But like when you actually get into it, it has more plot than it does tawdry male stripping. Like it's not its goal in life. But if you're looking for it, it's on HBO Max, and it does have audio description. So it has very interesting audio description too, from a voice that I have not heard before, but is sort of a quirky voice. I thought it was a very interesting choice for the film. Um, at first, I was just kind of like, I was so interested in the voice because I was like, I feel like I have never heard this voice before. And as I settled into it, it didn't, yeah, it didn't bother me either way. It was just like right at the beginning, it kind of took me off guard. I was like, oh, who is this? How old are they? What's, you know, like, what are we got going on here? I was very intrigued. So, yeah, sometimes I love hearing new voices that are really obviously, they sort of have a unique quality to it. And this narrator definitely has that quality. Yeah, as far as audio description goes, if I talk about it up front, since I'm already talking about it, the audio description of the film is fine. I haven't seen this movie in 11 years. I did see this movie. This was before my blindness, so I actually have seen the film. Um, I think it does the best job it can at trying to give you what the stripping looks like. Um, I mean, I suppose there could be like an alternative audio description track for people who want like like the sexy version of it, where I don't know, like there's somebody that comes in and is like, his muscles are pounding, you know, his oily, sweaty skin is just. That's not really the point of Magic Mike, though. The point of Magic Mike is to show this group of guys that they do this for a living and they kind of party it up, but maybe sometimes they party too hard. Maybe Matthew McConaughey's been in the business a little too long, and people are starting to look at Channing Tatum at like 30 as being a little too old for this, which is hilarious. I was like, oh my god, 30 is old? Who are these people? You know? Like, where are we coming from? Yeah, so they start looking at his character like, oh, I don't know. And then you've got the kid, played by Alexander Ludwig. who kind of rounds out the cast, and there's a bunch of people in like smaller roles that sort of wander their way in and out of the film. Um, but at the heart of the film, it's Channing Tatum. He's Magic Mike. He is the titular character here. And I do remember if, I've also seen Step Up. And it was a franchise that just sorely just started dying as soon as, when the original cast didn't return to do a sequel, gone. Every sequel after that just felt like it was some cheap representation of the franchise. In my opinion, I don't enjoy any Step Up sequel. But he can dance. I don't know if you guys know that about Channing Tatum, but that's a real thing. Like, if you've been blind your whole life and you just hear Channing Tatum, and maybe you've learned to like him as an actor and things, and you recognize his voice, and you're like, I've heard he's cute, I don't know. He actually can dance. He's actually a really good hip-hop dancer, and he does his own choreography, and from watching him in Step Up to watching him in Magic Mike, you can see that he does actually have the skill to carry out his own choreography. And his choreography is a lot more complicated than a lot of the other dancers, which is more traditional stripper type choreography. He actually kind of like break dances and does a lot of like hip hop dance routines that he can pull off. He backflips off the stage at one point. A lot of people don't give Channing Tatum credit for the skills that he does have. So, I'm just going to give him props because I do remember his dance in this being pretty cool. So, in terms of his actual choreography, the plot is definitely more serious than I remembered it. There was a lot more acting in it than I remember this film. This is a film that oddly, I don't remember what I originally gave the film a grade. If I originally gave the film a grade. But if you would ask me how I felt about Magic Mike before me watching it, I probably would have said, I think it's probably like a B minus. I think I'm wrong. I think it's better than that. I picked up a lot on the conversations and the relationships. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe I'm seeing it through a different lens now. I don't know what it is, but I had a completely different experience the second time around where I actually liked Magic Mike a lot more than I remembered ever liking it. Maybe it's because I couldn't see the stripping. Therefore, the film felt less of a gimmick, and I honed in a lot more on the relationships and on the dialogue and what these characters were actually saying, and how Channing Tatum's character really progresses throughout the course of the film, and actually how Alexander Ludwig's character ends up progressing throughout the film, and also Matthew McConaughey actually gives a really good performance here as the kind of what Channing Tatum really doesn't want to be. At first he's like, oh, I love Dallas. Dallas is great. And then he's like, I don't know if I want to be this guy. You can feel that question setting in, and you don't really know if you can trust Dallas. Is he full of shit? Maybe. He has this really long monologue about school and how he thinks school is pointless, and he'd pull his kids out of school and sit them in front of the TV and make them watch Mad Money, which I think is hilarious. Whatever. Pick a shitty show. Go for it. And just teach them about the stock market and that they'd be good in life. You gotta teach them about math first, dude. I don't know. He just assumes that they can watch Mad Money and that they'd understand numbers. No. You gotta teach them math first. So it's a good performance, and this is one of those films where you get that trademark Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right. So that's in here. In addition to being in other films, people just let him throw that in there as like his. It's like his film catchphrase that transcends into different films, whether it makes sense or not. I think had he actually managed, because there was a decent supporting actor campaign for him for this, he did always kind of feel like that he would end up sliding in as maybe like the fifth nominee that year. I think if he had have gotten the nomination, it's possible he would not have won for Dallas Buyers Club. For anybody who's like, oh, his win on Dallas was not, you know, his win on Dallas Buyers Club was making up for a lot of other performances over the years. It was like his one shot at the Oscars, and they gave it to him. So, but it's a good film. It's better than I thought it was. The acting is actually really pretty solid. It's a reminder that Steven Soderbergh is a good director. Something that we forget, I think, frequently nowadays, because for some reason the industry wants us to forget it. I don't understand why. I don't understand why Steven Soderbergh's films do not get more recognition nowadays. But I would love to see him do something that gets a theatrical release and is part of Oscar season again. I need to get him back on track. We need to fix this. He's easily one of the best directors alive right now. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But if you look at his filmography, it's just like, wow. All right. We got some great films there. What's happening? How do we help? How can we help? And Channing Tatum does a good job. Audio description is great. I had a fun time the second time around, so I don't know where I'm going to go with the sequels. I can't even remember if Steven Soderbergh directs the sequels, and that could be a huge shift in terms of tone. Magic Mike XXL, just the fact that XXL is thrown in at the end doesn't really like provide me with a whole lot of context and hope that that movie is good. I've never seen it. I didn't see the sequel. So I'm gonna try to watch that before I watch Last Dance. But especially since I think Twitch is in that, and rest in peace Twitch. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna give Magic Mike an A-. Like I said, I think this predated me having a website. I don't think there is an existing review of this, so I'm not really regrading anything. And if I am, it's my grade would have been when I could see versus when I couldn't see. So there's sort of precedent here for me to say where this grade lands. It's a lot better than I remembered it being. I had a lot more fun the second time around with this film, and appreciated the performances way more. So, I will no longer shit on Magic Mike. I'll stand up for it and I'll be like, you know what? That's actually a good film. You should give it a chance. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Become part of my family. We are family. And I have a website, macmoveguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it. You can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating what. And you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I'm macmoveguy. That's it. I will review something else for you guys, as usual. And see you on the other side.